First off, Lang, I want to welcome you to Liberty University. Before we talk a little bit about soccer, which is one of the reasons you're here, let's talk about your career. 17 years at South Dakota State. Intrigued by me. I think it's kind of cool that you helped create that program. What did you learn from that experience 17, 18 years ago?
Sure. Well, I'm from Roanoke, Virginia, so living in South Dakota is not something that was really in the plans for me, but it was a great place. I can't speak highly enough about the university and the people there. Started the program from scratch in 2000. I was hired in about this time, early February. I had to put together a brand new team by that August, where there was none. Right. So we hit the ground running. We had a club team and grabbed a few late recruits, and away we went. So certainly building something from the ground up created a very unique situation and gave you a chance to really do everything that you wanted to. And I certainly made some mistakes, but learned a lot from the process and trying to bring, probably the biggest thing was bringing student athletes of great character, which then created an environment where we could be successful on and off the field. And that was probably one of the biggest life lessons that I learned in that process. But we really had to do it twice because we started as Division II and then we had to transition to Division I in 2004. So essentially I recreated the program twice.
I had a lot of success in the Summit League, 4 championships, including the last 4. When did things begin to turn for this program as you started getting success?
Really, the 2008 season was a big one for us. But going back before that, my first real Division I recruiting class was in 2005, and so we had some student athletes that were good enough to be able to help us win at the Division I level. But it took a while for them to get there, and so we had 8 or 9 seniors in that were seniors that were going to graduate in 2008. That was their last season. That was the first year we were eligible for any postseason play by the NCAA transition. And we won the regular season championship, won the tournament championship of the Summit League, and then went to the second round of the NCAAs with these girls. And so that really set the foundation and created some tradition, some history that we were able to build on from that point forward.
You mentioned Lang being a Roanoke native. How much have you followed Liberty up until this point and the growth that has been coming on this campus?
Sure. Well, Liberty is something that has always kind of been there for us. We actually came back. I brought my South Dakota State here to play here in 2007, and I knew James Price, who was the coach at that time. We'd played a little together when I was in the Roanoke area, and so we were an independent at the time. We came and played Liberty in Longwood in a trip at the end of the season. So the camp is absolutely transformational from what it was back in that time to where it is now. So certainly at Liberty you could see just the progress and the championships they've won in the Big South and how well they've done. So I'm really excited about the foundation that's been set, and I think that it's primed for even future success.
What can you share with me as far as the steps it took to get you here, when you knew about the job coming open and how those relationships started to build for you?
Well, again, Liberty's been a program that's just always been on my heart, and for a number of years. My wife and I are both from the Roanoke area. We've wanted to get back in this area for a number of years. Again, we've enjoyed our time in South Dakota, but it's always been on the back of our minds to bring our family back this way. And so Liberty just, again, it was just kept popping up, whether it was on looking at the ticker on the ESPN report or the soccer scores or just somebody mentioning it. And so little by little, it just really, as I said, played on my heart. And then when I saw the job was open, it was like, and then came on my interview, it just had everything that we wanted. I mean, not only the great Christian environment, close to family, but also the ability to be competitive. And so every box was just kind of ticked off.
It's a unique opportunity for you. A lot of times new coaches come and have to build the program back up. But this Liberty women's soccer program, league record, 6 championships. So it's where a lot of programs want to be. How do you help put your stamp on this program?
Well, I think a lot of it is really just getting in, building relationships with the players, trying to get a real feel for their strengths and weaknesses of not only the individual players, but also the culture of the program and where it needs to go to take that next step. And I think that really seems to be where a lot of the Liberty programs are. They've been pretty successful, but everybody wants a little bit more. They want to do it the right way, but they want a little bit more. And so for me, that's what we want to try to do here at Liberty, is take that next step and show that they can play with some of the biggest and best, especially in being an ACC country here.
When a lot of people watch your soccer on the field, what are some things they'll see that kind of your philosophy about the game?
Sure. Well, I think that we want to play an aesthetic, attractive game. We want to build out of the back. We want our players skillful and being able to play soccer in such a way that there's a lot of passing and creativity involved. But I think that we really try to instill a level of grit and tenacity with our players, because at this level, to be successful, you've got to have that on the field, and you've got to play with that type of mentality.
Who are some of your heroes in the soccer game?
Well, there are a lot
Okay.
over the years, but I certainly owe a lot to people like Anson Durance to the University of North Carolina. He's been one of my mentors and obviously one of the most successful coaches around. I established a relationship with Tony DeCicco, who was with the women's national team in '99 when they won the World Cup, and has won a world championship with the U20 national team. And I have a number of people through the NSCAA, which is a coaching education organization that I work with. So I've been able to work with 6 different World Cup coaches through this organization and coaching other coaches, but I've also learned a lot from being with the different types of staff. So I've been really blessed in that regard.
Well, Lang, we're glad to have you here. Welcome back home, and can't wait to follow your progress, okay?
Thanks so much.
That's new women's soccer coach Lang Wedemeyer.